and welcome. I'm here today with Christina from Oregon Health and Science University. She works with the Northwest Native American Center for Excellence at OHSU. Now, Christina has a unique perspective because she works all day helping young people set career goals and reach them. Her main focus is increasing opportunities for Native American and Alaska Native individuals to join health professions, serve their communities and the community at large. By doing that work, she has a lot of wisdom around what it takes to persist in a field that can sometimes seem intimidating. So with that, I will turn things over to Christina. Christina, thank you so much for being here today. Tell us what you'd like to share and about the videos you're planning to show us.
Hi, Susan. Thanks so much for having me. First, let me introduce myself a little bit more. I'm Mayan and Navajo. My name is Christina I'm born and raised in Oregon. And as you just mentioned, I work for the Northwest Native American Center of Excellence as a program coordinator for outreach and recruitment. If you follow the center on social media at all, you might also know me as Coach Christina. My goal today is to encourage our friends watching to pursue their interests in healthcare and medicine. But before we go there, first I'd like to show you two videos from two very fantastic people that I have the honor of knowing.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's watch these two very short videos and then join back together for conversation.
I have this old blue truck that I drive right now, and I bought that truck because it smells like riding in my grandpa's old blue truck with him. When I was up on the reservation in the summers, he would say to me, "Come on, let's go to the Dairy Freeze and get an ice cream cone." And what we would do is we'd drive around the rural roads, stopping and seeing people all over the community. And it was him modeling to me that you take care of the community or family first. As a child, I didn't really enjoy school very much. And my saving grace was that I was athletic. I had no idea when I graduated from high school even what I wanted to be. I went to college because I had the opportunity to play football. And the way that I picked my major in college was that we had a mandatory meeting before the school started with our head football coach. He said, "Well, what's your major gonna be, son?" "Well, coach, what majors will they kick you out of if you don't do well in them?" He said, "Pre-med, son. You're gonna be pre-med." I kind of went through the classes, but I almost kind of felt like I was going through the motions a little bit. I think I started to doubt that I could actually become a doctor because my path looked so much different from the other students at that point. Pell Grants, student loans, and having to work all summer at a concrete mill is a lot different than having the privilege to take time off during the summers when you don't have to work. I didn't realize that being a grandchild of someone who's a brittle diabetic was an asset. I didn't realize that I was being trained from a young age how to carefully watch and pay attention to other people and how their bodies are responding when they're sick or not. And when I realized that maybe that wasn't normal for everybody, that's when I became motivated to become a doctor. I had purpose in why I wanted to become a doctor. When the school shooting happened in Red Lake in 2005, I was the only Native provider to my knowledge in the ER that day. I didn't quite realize it yet, but something happened that day when I knew that I had to do something on a larger scale. There's no way that I could go as one doctor and have the impact that's needed. I needed to make sure that there were more people like me who would serve Native people. And that's when I started on this path to be someone who could serve as a catalyst, an advocate, to make sure that instead of one Native doc is going back to serve a tribal community, that there's hundreds of nurses, physical therapists, PAs, clinical social workers, pharmacists. We're all needed. This year we have one Native American student graduating from the medical school. People hear one student graduating and they might think that that is insignificant. but is a huge success for us and our community. The mentorship, the role modeling, the service that they'll one day provide. It's a big deal. When I first got here, there were a total of 5 American Indian students and faculty at the School of Medicine Public Health. There's over 40 students and American Indian faculty and faculty affiliates now. We're building community, and people see that we're doing good work and they're joining along. And that's what it is. We're trying to inspire people to serve those who need it most.
I remember when I met a Native physician for the first time and just being like, whoa, we exist. Oftentimes you're in these big classes and you're the only Native person there. I connect with students anywhere from middle school all the way through college to keep them along their journey into medicine. Being a pre-med, being a first-generation college student is really what enhances my outreach ability. I know what it's like taking organic chemistry and feeling like you're drowning. One student, she was studying for the MCAT and then her mom got sick. So she stopped studying, focused on her family. She messaged me on the tech service and was like, Dove, I just need some confidence. I need something to start studying again. That's all she needed, was just someone to tell her, you're doing a great job, you can do it. It's a tremendous honor that I have that to give to these students because I wish I had that when I was an undergrad. When I was doing my undergraduate degree, I worked as an optometric technician, and so I was exposed to vision, and it's really stood out to me as such a huge need in Indian country. So my goal is to become an ophthalmologist. Currently, there's only one Native ophthalmologist in the country. Not having the ability to see just because of maybe living in a rural environment or not having access to proper healthcare makes me incredibly angry. And especially seeing your siblings and your parents go through that, it is extremely motivating for me to keep going on and becoming an ophthalmologist. Because I'm on this journey and I understand the world that you have to navigate in higher education, I think I offer really specific value to my students because I've lived it. This road is hard, but I'm here with you.
I'll be honest, those videos give me chills every time I see them. Christina, I know you talk to Dr. Erik regularly and you've spoken to Dove recently. Is there anything that you'd like to share about their current jobs or their perspectives that they have shared with you?
Sure. So I have the honor of working with Dr. Brodt nearly every day. He is the NACO Center's director. And Dove as well, I've had lots of opportunities to work with her. And the biggest takeaway that all of us want you all to take from these videos is really just don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or if you need support. That goes for really anything, not just your pathway into medicine. So many of us have been in your shoes once, and we know of all the different challenges that you might face along your journey. As Indigenous health pathway coaches, we do this job with respect for our ancestors first and foremost. They fought to survive, and now as coaches, we are here to fight for you, the youth, so that you might have opportunity to thrive as the next generation of healers.
I'm so glad you made the point about finding a support network and leaning on it. That's so important for all of us at all ages, but especially for young people. You know, with that in mind, I wonder if you could share about the need that you see in Oregon for doctors and nurses and other healthcare workers. Where are the greatest needs and where are some of the great opportunities that you see?
Sure. So this question is a pretty big question. I'll start by saying not only in Oregon, but across the country, people of color, especially Indigenous groups, are disproportionately affected by health disparities. As future healers of the world, you all who are watching, you have an important opportunity to use your diverse perspectives and voices really to change the face of healthcare. If you're interested in medicine, follow that passion.
So if a student is passionate about tackling those disparities, what are some of the health professions that you can be trained at or trained for at OHSU?
Great question. So as Oregon's only academic health center, OHSU not only cares for patients from all over the state, they also educate the future doctors, dentists, pharmacists, nurses, really all healthcare professionals. OHSU offers over 50 different degree and certificate programs, ranging from family medicine, public health, neurology, general surgery, women's health, and so much more. If it's healthcare related, there's a good chance that OHSU can provide education in it.
That's great. I mean, I think we all know that doctors and nurses are trained at OHSU, but I think learning about all the different specialties is so fascinating and interesting. And I'd encourage anyone here with this talk to go to the OHSU booth and explore further some of the resources that are available at the OHSU booth. Christina, what do you tell students who want to go into medicine, but they're intimidated by the idea of medical school, or they don't have straight A's, or you know what I mean? They're just having a little bit of a crisis of confidence.
Yeah, so this question is a really important question. I would say if you want to go to medical school, but for one reason or another, you don't think you'll belong or do well, please, please, please reconsider. Know that many professionals started right where you are now, myself included. I could tell you a little bit about my journey, you know, growing up and throughout my educational journey, things were at times pretty tough. My family life wasn't always ideal. My grades weren't always A's and B's. I had troubles with friends, you know, the usual things that happen when you're young. I especially struggled when I went to college with my grades. And there were many times that I needed to retake courses. There were a couple of times I even needed to step away from school to go spend time with my family, support my family. And that's totally okay. If you're in that boat or similar boat, that's totally okay. If you're interested in becoming a healer or going to medical school, remember that all of your life experiences and what you're going through, good and bad, are what's going to make you a good healthcare provider. And as far as grades and GPA and all of those types of things, there's resources out there to help boost that GPA, those grades, your skills. And don't ever let that get in the way of you pursuing your goals.
I love that perspective, Christina. And I'm thinking, yes, studying hard, trying to get good grades, doing your best is really important, but also the value of empathy, perspective, life experience, understanding what it's like to struggle. Because when people are in the healthcare system as a patient, they are struggling, and being able to relate to the patient and their families is really what does make an excellent doctor or nurse or healthcare provider. So I'm really glad you emphasized that. If someone is in high school right now and thinking about going to healthcare, are there things that they can do now, even learning from home and distance learning and everything else? Are there some things they could do now to help prepare?
For sure. So first, let me say, yes, things are different and challenging right now because we're all learning from home, working from home. Don't let that discourage you. There are still opportunities you can take advantage of. First of all, you being here at this expo and watching this video, it's a great first step. You're already doing it. You're already making strides to prepare for your future. Secondly, make sure, you know, if you're in high school or really anywhere, make sure you take your science courses. If you have opportunity to do electives and do more science courses than what's expected of you, that might help you down the road. If there are opportunities to do extracurricular activities, definitely take advantage of those. I would also encourage you to consider reaching out to your local clinics and physicians to set up informational interviews, virtually like this, over the phone, hopefully one day in person, you could do some shadowing. And then really just make sure you're keeping an eye out for virtual opportunities just like this. It may seem like there aren't many opportunities going on or many have been canceled, but the reality is a lot of them have just transitioned to a virtual space, and they are still very informative and helpful. So just keep an eye out for opportunities like this, and that'll really help you out in your future.
Thank you. And finally, and so important, how can Native American students who are watching this video and here at the Expo today, how can they reach out to you, Coach Christina, for more information and support and assistance?
Yeah, so I have a slide that I'd like to share with some information. So if you can see this, please make sure you check out our website. I realize I didn't include a website, but it's really simple. It's NACOE, which is NNACOE.org. Check out our website to see all the different programs the center has to offer at OHSU. We're specific to Native Americans and Alaska Natives, but definitely reach out if you have any questions. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Our handle is Native Health OHSU. We're always posting things about opportunities, whether from us or reposting from our partners and associates who also offer opportunities like like internships, summer programs, that sort of thing you'll find on our social media channels. We also highlight a ton of inspirational people and do like motivational Mondays. So look out for that on our social media as well. And then I would also encourage you, you might have noticed in Dove's video at the end, there was a little blurb about texting the keyword healer to 97779 What that is a texting service where every Wednesday from 3 to 4 p.m. Pacific time, you can actually chat with myself, Coach Christina, and others for a whole hour live. So you can text us from your phone, any of your questions, your concerns. I talk to people about, people ask me, where can I find information about internships? Where can I find info on, how do I get connected to a doctor if I have questions? You can text me all of those questions from your phone every Wednesday, 3 to 4 p.m. And all you got to do is text that healer keyword. And then, of course, please don't feel embarrassed or afraid to reach out to me at nativehealth@ohsu.edu. Anytime with any questions, any concerns, if you're interested in the center, if you're interested in getting connected with some of the doctors that we work with, or if you just want to know more about OHSU in general, please just send me an email and I'm happy to chat. And we can always chat over the phone as well as something virtual like this. So be sure to reach out. I'd be really happy to hear from you all.
Christina, thank you so much for this information and for sharing your perspective today. We appreciate it so much. We appreciate your time and perspective and your offer to help for so many students here. Students, please know that healthcare is one of the fastest growing industries in Oregon, has some of the best earning potential, and just as important, a chance to have a meaningful career where you can have a really positive impact on your community. So be sure to visit the OHSU booth, Legacy and Kaiser Permanente booths, many college programs here, community college programs offering amazing health training opportunities. So thank you so much again, and be well. Take care.